everyone? Adam Flowers here. Welcome back. It is Rednesday today, Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. Welcome back, everybody. Today's going to be an interesting day. We're going to be talking about the Family Secrets trial, Operation Family Secrets. Welcome back. It's Mob Vlog. Red, how's it going today?
Very good, guy. Hot.
Yeah, hot? You say hot? You have no idea what hot is right now.
Right. You're right. I'm not out by you.
It is unfreaking believable. It's 100. It's 109 right now. Okay, I was just outside. I had to drive. I had to take a ride. My AC in my car couldn't even cool down. It's terrible out. It's just awful. So
you can fry an egg on the hood.
Easily, very easily. So welcome everybody. Kate, Mickey Griggs, Zoll, Scott H, James Roper, all of you guys. Good to see you. Don Berlin, Joe Clark, Chain Weaver, everybody's in the house. So Michael Randolph, what's flying, man? Good to see you. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Operation Family. Well, not a little bit. We're going to get into it. Red knows a ton, and I have a Wikipedia page open, so we're good to go. Okay. Before we do, though, I got to tell you guys, I have been working my tail off trying to get this project finished, and this project is really it's coming together. It's coming together nicely, and I told you guys about it before, but the upper crust pizza box. With the pizza inside and the DVD with the movie on the DVD and then the little gun with the USB stick on it. Anyway, I've been working my tail off on this thing, and it's a lot. It was a 3-hour interview. It was the very first interview Frank and I ever did that we ever videoed, and it's really fascinating. But while you guys are coming in, I just want to share with you the first minute and 10 seconds of this video. So cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Let's do it. Watch this. You guys are gonna like this. What'd you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm sure there's more to it too, though.
Oh, there is. There's much more. But a piece like that, a little piece
I like the exploding coins at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been working on that and getting that ready because one of the prescribers is going to be in town this weekend. And I would like to hand that to her when she's here. So I'm trying to get that done. Cindy, I'm talking about you. Cindy Workman. And you know what? We opened the tours on Monday. This Monday, we opened the tours. And the very first tour that went out on Monday, there was the people were getting on. One of the guys looked at me and said, "I'm a prescriber." So I thought that was really cool. And anyway, Good. I'm excited too, Cindy. It's going to be hot, dear. It is 100 and ridiculous outside right now. So it's going to be a hot one here in Las Vegas. But let's get into it, Red.
Let's open the doors in the early morning so you can get out there before it gets to be noon.
That's why we're doing them so early. Well, not so early, but earlier in the day, because it's beat the heat. So it's to beat the heat. Anyhow. Yes, Don Berlin, that's a lot of hours of editing. Something like that probably took me about 8 hours to put together. So, and then little tweaks here and there. But anyway, Operation Family Secrets. Like I say, I have it open. Some of you have been really excited since last week for us to get into this and to talk about it. So why not get this thing going? Like I say, Red knows a ton. I have a Wikipedia page open, which, is about as good as, I don't know what the next guy says, I suppose. But anyhow, Red, so most people think that this Operation Family Secrets started in 2006.
No.
But that's not the case. When did it really get started?
It originally really got started. They knew who murdered Tony. They knew a lot of things, but they couldn't prove it. And so that was about maybe 2000. Tony was killed in 86. So it was probably around 2000. And they were talking about it, putting it together. Mitch Mars was, and several other people, Gary Shapiro. But it was Mitch's case. And so he called me. Well, actually, Tom Moriarty called me in 2002. And he said, Mitch wants you to give him a call. And I said, why didn't he call me himself? And he said, he can't. He can't call you because of your status. So I called Mitch. I knew Mitch from 1980. I met him. But when I called him, he asked me if I would help him with the trial. And so I said, sure, I'll be glad to. And what had happened that I didn't know at the time was Frank Calabrese Jr. had sent a letter to an FBI agent, and he was starting to wear a wire on his father. And they were talking about murders and his uncle. I mean, his father's really, they were both from Milan, Michigan, and his father really laid it out for him. I mean, it was all, they had it on wiretaps. He wore headphones out in the yard, and they were like, so it was set up so it was like he was listening to music, but it really wasn't music. He was taping the whole thing. And that's where it really started, when he wrote the letter to the FBI agent and said, this could get me killed. So if you don't want to do a deal, don't throw me to the wolves, And I believe a lot of people have seen that letter, but that's where it really started. Then people started coming in. There were a lot of people that were indicted, and most of them pled guilty. I would say 98% pled guilty, and they only had like Joey Lombardo, Paul Shiro, Nick Calabrese Sr., and Joey Lombardo, and Frank Schweiss. Well, Frank Schweiss and Joey Lombardo said, we're not going for this. And they took off. They knew it was coming. They all got swabbed for DNA. They got DNA swabs, every one of them. So they knew it was coming. They just didn't know when. So they took off. They tried to arrest everybody in one day, which they did, except for Lombardo and Schweiss. They were gone. Schweiss got picked up in Buena, Kentucky. They had these reward posters for him all over the place.
Right.
And, the place that he was renting with his girlfriend at the time, she brought him from Hollywood, Florida. The guy that owned it in Buena, Kentucky, he recognized him. So when he recognized him, he called his local FBI. They said, don't do anything. They drove down from Chicago and picked him up. Okay, now they had him. Now, the indictment came down in 2006. Now Joey was still on the lam, and he was hiding in Elmer Park, going from place to place to place. So they took they had $10,000 reward apiece on him, and they took the 10,000, threw it over to Joey Lombardo because they got him real easy. They figured, what the heck, we'll spend another 20. So they made 20,000. And Pat Spilotro turned him in. So bingo. Now the case was in, they had everybody in custody. Meanwhile, the lawyers were going through motions. A lot of people were pleading guilty, like I said. So the actual real trial was a circus. I mean, it was a major event in Chicago. And if it hadn't been, looking back, if it hadn't been for the RICO statute in 1972, this would have never taken place like it did. Because actually it was guilt by association of different people that committed different crimes. And Schweiss never did go on trial. He never did. He beat the hangman. They had for so many murders, it was pathetic. But he had cancer, several different types of cancer over the years. And at that time, it was brain cancer. And they said he was going to be well in a year. There might be a family secrets too, but there wasn't. There never was. The lawyers and everybody that I talked to said that he was out of it. I mean, he didn't know which way was up. So the trial began in 2007. After everybody, they were through doing their motions, motion to discovery, motion to suppress, all these different things. And then finally, they went to trial.
Real quick, Red, if you guys are just getting in here, hit the like button, smash it. It forces the YouTube algorithm to show this video to more and more people. So hit the like button, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that, so you'll get a little notifications whenever we go live or when I post flashbacks of interviews, previous interviews.
I noticed you just went on me with Tony in the car.
I did. I took a chunk of one of our, I don't know, an hour-long interview. I took 10 minutes out of it and put it up for, it's funny because not everybody sees every single video, and there's pieces that they end up seeing. So, and it helps the channel's algorithms, and also it's a good thing. Okay. So, Jim Yeager. Oh, quickly. I'm sorry. Before Jim Yeager, Lewis Cole. Hello. He said hi to Adam and Red. Lewis Cole. Lewis. If you guys didn't watch last week's episode, okay, we took a comment, a thread, and we read it, and that Lewis had started. And Lewis, I hope that you took everything constructively that Red and I said, and the rest of the crew here, because yeah, it was interesting to hear the things that you were saying, where that information came from was very intriguing to us. So anyway, Jim Yeager, thanks for tuning in, Lewis. Jim Yeager, Nick Calabrese identified 28 men during family secrets. Do you think that number is accurate?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do think it's accurate. As a matter of fact, he didn't expound on some of the murders that he was involved in or that he knew about, because he had so much to remember. I mean, that's a lot for anybody to remember, but to be on a witness stand and remember, all those different things that took place and how many people were there or details about it. People don't remember that kind of stuff. I mean, if you're working on one specific thing, it's different, but 28 different people that were identified, each one of them had to be identified with a crime, and he had to describe the crime, and, he was asked questions. So I'm sure he was going, okay. And he had to take his time. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you had cross-examination, and that cross-examination was just about every lawyer at the stand, because it involved the people that were there. He was testifying not only against Nick, but Paul Shiro. He was testifying against everybody up there. Jimmy Marcello, everybody. So it was very difficult for him in a lot of ways. I was surprised that he only got 13 years. After it was all over, after all those murders, they let him walk with 13 years. He's out now.
A question from Tony Padula. Red, in Operation Family Secrets, when they found out you informed Tony you were an FBI mole, why didn't the FBI follow protocol and pull you off?
Oh, they knew that was in 302s. My 302s information reports from the FBI. They knew that way back in the 70s. So it was way before the trial. It was before Tony was ever murdered. But what happened was at the time, I don't know why. You're asking me a question about why didn't they? I don't know. Probably because I told them I felt comfortable with it. I did not feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
Their liability. I don't know what their liability. Who's going to sue him if he would have killed me? Who's going to sue him anyway?
Right. Hi, Dewey Barnyard. What's going on? So, hey, Red, I told you about Dewey. Quickly, guys, I don't mean to get off the subject just for a quick second. I got a phone call, and I get phone calls from you guys, believe it or not, out of the blue all the time, to wanting to tell me a story or wanting to share something with me or, every different thing. And Dewey called me and wanted to tell me some stories. And I asked him, I said, could I interview you and have you tell these? Listen, guys, these stories are so freaking cool. He was in jail with Gus Alex, knew Clarence Crockett and Albert Taco. He was also ran in with Jackie Cerrone while he was in the joint. It's his stories go from everything from these guys right up to high level politicians that are still alive. So of course he can't tell the stories, I mean, he told them to me. I thought they were fascinating as all hell. But anyway,
probably all true.
They are. I'm sure I wouldn't doubt it. Why would the guy call me to lie to me? What would the point of that be, right? Just no, I can't share these, but I really want to tell you these stories. But to tell me lies, no. And he's not the. I mean, like I say, I've gotten other phone calls from people telling me stories and this and I'm going, this is fascinating. But nobody will air this. Nobody will, if you have a story though that you want to tell, call me. Tell me what it is. I'll interview you if it's something. I'm serious.
Some of this stuff is. Call me, Adam. I have a half a dozen people to call me, and they told me I'm going to tell you about this, but you can't tell anybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it and say, then why are you telling me? Are you clearing your conscience?
Right.
I mean, why are you telling me?
Right. I don't know. I think everybody has a story to tell, and everybody wants somebody to hear it. No other explanation in mind.
Tony Patullo, you keep writing this in. I don't think my parents or any part of my family at that time would have filed a lawsuit against the FBI. Okay, are you happy now?
Okay, so back on the track here, Mr. Fugazi. Why wasn't DeFranco whacked when, although the feds had evidence to say he was present when Tony and Michael were whacked, the outfit must have known that DeFranco was a rat.
He wasn't even indicted in family secrets, and he was there during Tony's murder. He was upstairs in Bensenville, at the house in Bensenville. He was there. And he was not even indicted in family secrets. The reason he wasn't indicted, he was a confidential informant. He was giving information to the Justice Department.
Okay,
if that helped you.
Yeah, interesting. And there were the total list of victims, right? At least this is according to Wikipedia, guys.
18, I believe it was.
Yes. So you got. Starting
really more than that. It was only 18 they could prove.
Okay, so there's Michael Hambone Albergo. That's the first time I've ever heard that name, by the way. Daniel Seifert.
Hambone?
Correct. I've never heard.
Yeah, I got a story about him if you want to hear it.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, so let's go down the list here. Michael Hambone, Daniel Seifert, Paul Haggerty, Henry Cosentino, thank you. John Mendel, Donald Reno, and Vincent Moretti.
Right.
William Dauber and Charlotte Dauber. William Petroselli, Michael Cagnoni,
Butch Petroselli, William Butch, whatever.
Okay.
Michael
Michael Cagnoni. Nicholas DeAndrea. Well, what is this? Individual A is an attempted murder. April 24th, 1982. Individual A. Attempted murder in Lake County. I guess maybe it's an unknown person. I don't know. Richard Ortiz and Arthur Marowski. And Emil
Vici.
Emil Vici?
Yeah.
And then Anthony and Tony Spilotro and John Ferracata. And those were the ones they could prove.
Yes.
Okay. So
those are the ones that Nick had to remember everything that happened on each one. He had to remember all the details.
Frank.
No, Nick Calabrese, when he was on the stand, he was involved in each one of those murders. Either he helped plan it, or he was there, or he went out to make an attempt and he missed. But he was involved in all of them. Frank Calabrese Sr. was involved in it also. In each one that his brother was involved. His brother never went alone. They went as a hit team.
So it says it began in 1998 when he wrote the letter. July 27, 98, when Frank Jr. wrote the letter to the FBI saying he wanted to help put his father in jail. Guess he said something like, he wanted to.
I believe he wrote the letter to Bourgeois, if I'm not mistaken. And that, like you said, it was 1998.
Yeah. And they say
I heard of it in 2000. It took him a while to put that case together.
It said it was dubbed Family Secrets because of the betrayal from within the Calabrese family.
I agree.
Well, wow. So the trial went from June 28th, 07 to August 8th. The evidence was presented anyway.
Yep.
More than 125 witnesses and 200 pieces of evidence. So this is.
I was just one of 125.
So you were one of the 125 witnesses.
Yes.
So what exactly did you testify on? Tell us.
Not very much. As a matter of fact, I expected to get gang-gonged by all the other defense attorneys, but the only one they showed my tapes that I'd made in my living room, and they asked me to identify the tapes and authenticate them, and I did on the stand. Do you recognize this person, or who was he talking about when I was talking to Schweiss? Who was he talking about with this? Who was he talking about that? They'd shut the tape off and ask me questions. Meanwhile, the jury's looking at this thing on a huge screen. So there was a part that mainly Schweiss had turned around and talked about Mike Galita. And Mike Galita was deceased, like Louis Eberle was deceased. But what he said was, just because Lumbo's in the joint, meaning Joey Lombardo, doesn't mean things have changed. If Mike steps on my, he's very graphic. His language offended, like Alan Ackerman said, not in that trial, but the previous one, he offended all God's creatures with his mouth.
Okay.
So basically, when they did that, they said, "Do you see Joey in the courtroom?" And I looked around, and there was a table. There was a bunch of defense attorneys and other people on trial. So I really didn't see him. I'm looking over there, and they showed me a photograph of him. That's an old photograph, not the way he looked then. And so I looked at the photograph, and Mitch Mars handed it to me. And somebody asked him to stand up. His lawyer did, Rick Halpern. And he stood up. And when he did, I looked over. He looked terrible. I mean, he was in a suit that was like 3 sizes too big for him. It was hanging off him and everything else. He lost a lot of weight. And I turned around and said, "Yeah, that's him right over there. He looked a lot better the last time I saw him." And a lot of people cracked up, and the judge put the gavel down and said, "Okay, that's enough of this." I don't know. That was just my reaction. I wasn't trying to be funny. I really thought he looked a whole lot better the last time I saw him.
Jeez. So, and
John Drummond, when I was going in to the courtroom, it was a circus. It really was a circus. The hallways were packed. Everything was packed. And John Drummond said, he hadn't seen me in a while. And he tried to get up and like shake hands with me or talk to me. And the agents just kind of pushed him down. I mean, they really physically pushed him down. They didn't want anybody touching me, period. So it's like the walk of shame as you go through there. You go through this big aisle. And if you took a seat inside, they had a place for victims' families and stuff like that. But if you took a seat, that's a different area in the gallery up there. But if you took a seat, you had to take a number to get the seat. So it's first come, first serve. If you get up and go to the bathroom or something like that, you lose your seat. Somebody else gets it. So it was a circus.
Wow.
And they were using the ceremonial courtroom, the largest courtroom that they had. I described in my book, there was spaghetti wire. I mean, wires are all over the floor. They had them taped down because there's carpeting in that room,
Mm-hmm.
So they had all these wires that were taped to the floor. It was very crazy.
Scott H. Nick Calabrese was busted over a bloody glove at the murder scene.
That was one of the pieces of evidence that Frank Calabrese Jr. told him about. And he had been shot, and the DNA was on the glove, and he tossed the gloves. They kept the glove all those years, and finally DNA came up. It was his. So they kind of had him cold. So when they did pick Nick out of prison and asked him the questions, and they told him that Frank Calabrese Jr. was cooperating, and he gave him the information. It was just like, what am I going to do? They got me anyway. It's time to make a deal. And he did. A very good one at that. Although he wasn't promised that 13 years. He didn't know what he was going to get until the judge said it. It's not like they recommended 13 years. The judge just came forward, and Judge Zagel, and said, because he cooperated so much and he cleared all these murders, and I don't think he's going to be doing any more, I don't think he should be punished with life imprisonment. Like Jimmy Marcello, Joey Lombardo, and Calabrese, they went for life. I don't know if Paul Shiro went for life or not. Paul the Indian. He was from Arizona.
I don't know. I did see his name. Paul, it said here, for Calabrese Sr., Marcello, the Clown, Paul Shiro, and Anthony Twain Doyle, who were the main 5 defendants.
He was a cop that was feeding information from to Calabrese on people from on the outside, what they were doing, where they were located. As a matter of fact, they thought they found the safe house because there was another guy by the name of Ambrose. He was a U.S. Marshal, and he had contact with WITSEC. So these people that were in WITSEC, they were put into the safe house, and he gave it up. He actually gave it up. So they tried him again after Family Secrets.
So it says all 5 were found guilty on all counts for conspiracy, criminal acts of racketeering. Of the 9 defendants, 6 pled guilty. 2 died before trial. Saladino, and Ritchie. And Frank Schweiss was too ill to stand trial. Calabrese Sr. was represented by Joe the Shark Lopez, who had been involved in many organized crime trials.
And at that time, Paul Whitcomb was, you see him on Facebook all the time. He was Judge Zagel's law clerk.
Ah, so really?
Yeah, he was there through the whole thing, from beginning to end.
Interesting. Hey, Lewis Cole. Hi, Adam. Thanks for the mention. Meant no disrespect to you and Red. No, that's cool, man. Love the channel. Great content. I did put an order in for Red's book. Waiting for arrival. Big respect. That's awesome.
Lewis, did you, Lewis, you could send it from Amazon?
he put in an order for Red's book.
Okay.
Don't know. Yeah. Don't know if he ordered it from you or from whatever. But hey, guys, in case you haven't heard, hit that like button. If you hit the like button, it forces the YouTube algorithm to show this video to more people and to get it out there further. So in case you haven't heard, if you're coming to Las Vegas, the Vegas Mob Tour, it's open.
Yo, Bugsy, it says here they got something called the Vegas Mob Tour.
Yeah, Bobby, ain't you heard? It's all about our old friends Sam Giancana, Meyer Lansky, Mo Dalis, and of course yours truly, Bugsy Siegel.
Are you kidding? A mob tour about us?
Yeah, they take you to where we used to hang out and to all the places where we used to do our crimes.
You mean they expose all our secrets?
Yeah, but it's okay, because we ain't around anymore. So, let's face it, we can't get busted.
Hey, you think we could sneak on board and check this out?
Of course we can. Forget about it. They'll never even know we're there.
Ha! And there's the meme of the day right there.
It sure is. Adam, Lewis Cole asked a question here. It's
Lewis did?
Lewis Cole asked another question. Did Calabrese Jr.'s arrest begin family secrets? No, it was the letter that began family secrets. The letter that Calabrese Jr. wrote to an FBI agent that said, I can help you. I don't want to be in here with my father. I don't trust him. I think when I hit the streets, he's going to kill me, or I'm going to have to kill him.
Yeah, that I can't imagine being put into that position again. The being in that life and being in that, involved. I can't even imagine having to turn on a family member, even a sibling or something, or a cousin, or that's got to be your parents.
His uncle Nick, who was really good to him, who actually didn't want him to go on hits, the one was assigned to him, said, no, I'll go and do it for you. Don't get involved. So Frank Calabrese Jr. didn't have to go. He turned on him. He turned on his father. He turned on everybody.
Hey, Anthony DiMartini. It's good to see you, buddy. If you guys haven't checked out Anthony's channel, check it out. He's got some great videos. Tell your story about Red, about the first guy Adam listed off. Hambone. What's your story about Hambone?
Hambone, a police officer came to me, a friend of mine, Jim Schiffer, came to me and he said, I'm dating this guy, this gal from over at Grand and Ogden. And so I said, okay, well, what is it? What's up? And she said she hasn't seen her father in so many years, and she didn't know what happened to him. And so he said, would you do me a favor and see if you can find out? Well, it wasn't the best of ideas in the world, go asking what happened to this guy. So I asked somebody in the neighborhood, Philomato. I said, you ever hear a guy named Hambone? And he said, yeah, where'd you hear that name? And then he told me. He actually told me what happened to him. And so I said, well, there's a gal in the neighborhood. She's asking about his daughter. And he said, he ain't never coming home, because he told me what happened to him. So I told Jim Schiffer about it and said, tell your gal that you're going with, he ain't never coming home. That's it. He's gone. He's dead.
Mm-mm. No, I agree, Rick Charleston. It can't be happy. And you probably, as anything in life, you just don't know until you go through it, or experience it, yourself. So, hey guys, hit the like button. If you're just coming in, be sure to hit the like button.
Please hit the like button.
Yes. John O. Red, do you know of Detroit family members, Big Paulie Corrado? No,
I didn't know anybody from Detroit, period.
Okay, so that's a long question. So Eric Epstein, is Frank Jr. still doing tours in Chicago? According to Scott H. earlier, he said that yes, he is. And somebody else said, why don't you have
Lisa
Frank
Swan on the show?
No, he said, why don't you have Frank Jr. on the show? And I've asked, I've talked to him and I've asked, and he said he was busy. And but Frank, if you're watching and you're not busy or you want to do an interview, I'd love to interview you, or at least let the people ask you some questions.
Come on down, Frank.
Scott H, was Hambone black?
No.
Okay. Jim Yeager, you should have Lisa Swan on your show. She's Frank Calabrese Jr.'s ex-wife. She would have a lot of great stories.
I showed you the video of her.
Oh, you did say something about the other night. You should
have the things to say about Frank Calabrese Jr.
Well, doesn't everybody's ex have something to say about him?
Yes.
There's two sides to every story, right?
I guess.
It's his story or my story, and
I never heard anybody roasted that bad in my entire life, though. She really ripped him. I feel bad, badly for that, because that's terrible, to publicly have somebody do. Sean Pender, did Betty Taco testify at Family Secrets trial? Ooh, hold on, wait a second. She's the one who had to drive out to pick him up because his battery died when they were burying the brothers, right? Yes.
Okay, got it.
No, she testified earlier at the trial against Taco. Taco was not involved in that trial.
Okay. You ever get death threats? American Gangster wants to know.
No, I haven't. I get snotty remarks from people that are keyboard warriors, but I don't get any death threats.
That's a good thing. Outfit Boss, what charges was Joe and Lombardo indicted on during Family Secrets?
Murder, the Danny Seaford murder.
Mm-hmm.
He was indicted on racketeering. He was indicted on so many things. Joey winked at me when he stood up. I mean, he looked at me and he just went, how you doing? He kind of had a smile on his face. It was the kind of thing where he knew he was dead in the water. Me being there was nothing. It was the icing on the cake, that's all. But he knew he was dead in the water for at least one murder. But they got him with racketeering. They got him on all kinds of stuff. The skim from Chinatown, where they actually taking the $15,000 a month out of Chinatown. He was involved in that. He was involved in some other things, extortions. So the racketeering just went on and on and on. He was dead in the water. I mean, he was looking at life for that, plus the Seaford murder was proven, finally put to rest. I mean, everybody knew who did it over the years, but it was actually brought out.
Chain Weaver said he'll give you a death threat so you don't feel left out.
Thank you, Chain Weaver. You're a nice guy. You're all heart. Let me find my ice pick so I can find your heart.
No, he's all heart. It explains his funny shape. I ordered Red's books from Amazon. Ask Red, did Joe Lombardo still have much control over his area in Chicago after Family Secrets?
After? No.
He was in jail.
Even when he got out of prison, he lost his territory.
Huh?
He lost the Grand Avenue crew. And he was an older man by then. And him and Frank, the geriatrics, got together and decided they were going to go with, I believe, Calabrese and La Piatra and that crew and just take care of whatever they could through Indiana, Pittsburgh. He went down to Pittsburgh and muscled some people down there. So they had a lot of things going. Joey lost his territory when he went to prison in 1982. When he got out of prison, he didn't have anything left. I mean, it was all divided up.
Got it. So one more time, guys, hit the like button if you're coming in. It forces the YouTube algorithm to show the video to more people. And in case you didn't and you weren't watching in the first 5 minutes of today's broadcast, and you're just coming in, this pizza box. The pizza box. They're all autographed too by Frank. Frank autographed every one of these pizza boxes, And inside is a little pizza. We started working on this project 5 years ago. It's got a disc and it's got a whole movie on it. And in the pizza, underneath the disc, in the pizza, there's a little gun. See, and the gun is a USB drive, and you can plug it in to watch the movie on your thing. Anyway, this is going to be available very, very, very soon because, like I say, I'm editing and almost finished with it. And if you didn't see it, here's the first minute and 10 seconds.
Adam, after that, it doesn't stop there, right? The DVD.
No, that's just the first minute and 10 seconds of this.
And then there's like never seen before footage that Frank did with you.
This was our very first interview that we ever did. We did it in Dean Martin's dressing room. Okay, and we got access to that, set it all up. We had a 3-camera shoot. It was shot in 4K and 1080p on 2 cameras. It is great footage, and it was our very first interview. And I went to a few places that hadn't ever been gone to in this interview. So it was something that we wanted to get finished. It was something we wanted to get finished before Frank passed away, but when we started working on the YouTube and making all those videos, it was like so much more. We were interacting with it. It was.
And you were doing the tours and everything else.
We were working on all right, but now it's time to get it finished. It's almost done, and it's going to be available different ways. Again, you get the autographed box. You could get a box that's not autographed, or you can just get the video, or you can probably have some way to do it as a media download, so that we can do. So that's it's 3 hours of footage. We sat there for 3 hours.
That's a good one. I got to see this when it comes
out. It really is, and I'm telling you, Frank doesn't hold back in it either. I'm going to tell you, there's words that fly around in there that couldn't go on this channel. I'm 100% serious about that when I say that. He didn't hold back at all. I told him, don't hold back. As a matter of fact, the working title was No Holes Barred. Frank Collada, No Holes Barred, with the Hole in the Wall Gang and the No Holes Barred. And we did this little thing. Anyway. So. Somebody
asked, what do I think about Calabrese's testimony? Do I think he did it out of good conscience?
Mm-hmm.
You know, clear his conscience, or why did he do it? Okay, you asked for my opinion. You're going to get it. Because of what happened, I think it suited his means. And not only, I don't think he was worried about going back to prison, but I don't think you were here when I was talking to Adam that I told him and the rest of you folks that either he was going to have to kill his father or his father was going to kill him. So it was his way out. It was his way out of the outfit. That's why. Did he want to clear his conscience? I don't think so. I don't think he did it out of morality. Like you asked, did he do it out of morality? No, he did it out of his own feelings. I wouldn't say necessity. I would say he did it because he thought it was the easy way out.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever eat at Hoagie's?
No, never.
Keith Helton, the CD should come with a real pizza. I think we'll put the recipe.
That'd be real stale. I'll tell you that much by the time it got there.
We'd have to freeze the damn
leftover pizza for the night before, but never heard of one that's going to be shipped.
David Grip, welcome back from Mexico, by the way, Dave. When Frank did the killing in the movie Casino, who was killing? That was the Alan Dorfman killing with the snow on the ground. Yeah, that's the clip that you just saw in the video that I'm working on. That's supposed to be Alan Dorfman. Correct.
Alan King played Alan Dorfman.
Okay, so let's see. Phil Hadaway. Does anyone know where Nick Calabrese is? This may have already been asked, but I just was able to just now get online.
I don't think that's a question I want to answer. That's his own business where he's at.
I'm guessing he's not in jail. He's out. Okay. Okay.
He's talked to his nephew. He's talked to his family. What's left of him. But he's an old man. He's an old man now. He doesn't need to be bothered. Sorry, Phil.
Philip Wright. Red. Tony was described as a good fighter in Casino. Were you a good street fighter back in the day?
I think I was. There's some other people that they know I was, but I could handle myself pretty good.
You told me a couple of stories. You're what? You're 6'1", right?
Right.
Okay, so you're a taller guy. I mean, I'm 6'5", so I look around and I barely see eye to eye with anyone.
Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it may be blocking a blow. Moving somebody's hand out of the way, or a fast hand to the bridge of their nose, or just putting them out. Period. So
you told me a story about something that ended up at a garbage dump or something, and a gun and a. Did you tell me a story about something like that, where somebody you chased out of the store and ended up at a garbage dump with them?
Oh,
like a waste facility or something.
That was a guy that he pulled a gun on me or something. He did something stupid, and I threw him in the trunk of the car and drove him over to the garbage dump. Usually, we dump those people off of the Chicago Avenue Bridge into the river, Chicago River. But this particular time, there was a garbage dump back there. And so I got him out of the trunk, and he was a resident of Cabrini Green, as most of them were. But anyway, when I got him out, I pulled his pants down and I took super glue and put it on his hands and put one to each cheek on his butt. And he was doing this stuff. I thought about it. I don't know how somebody naked like that can go and ring a doorbell or ask for help or anything like that. But we never saw the guy again. It really didn't have to be a beating. The guy didn't want to take a beating. He was afraid to take a beating.
Jeez. Lewis Cole, thank you very much. I agree with everything that you just said. RV Doc. Red's a badass and he's always packing heat.
Oh no, I don't pack heat all the time. And actually now I don't. I have a concealed weapons permit, but I don't pack that off. And if I need to go someplace, I'll bring somebody with me, or I might pack. There might be one in the glove compartment of my car. Chi-Town raised. Hey, Red, did High Larner actually have casinos in Iran and helped run guns to Israel? I have no idea because I did not know High. Well, Mr. was nothing to me. I didn't know him. Sorry. Robert Williams, do you know a notorious Jewish West Side mobster and later the boss of Rogers Park? No. No. It had to be who I think you're talking about is Lenny Patrick, but I did not know him. He was with Gussie Alex and that crew, and they kind of had their own crew.
So not.
I knew of him. I mean, people talked about him, but I didn't know him.
Were you ever asked to testify against Frank Collada or Tony Spilotro?
No,
Neither.
no. Tony was deceased, and Frank Collada, I didn't know anything about his scores or what he did. I'd heard about him through circles, but mostly through somebody's name I don't even want to mention right now that I knew.
Okay.
He's deceased, but there's a problem with mentioning his name.
Okay, then don't say the name.
I won't.
So guys and girls, because I know there's some girls watching.
Yes, ladies.
Next Rednesday, what do you want to hear about? Because we've had a couple of comments so far today that have come through, and about, hey, do this, an episode on this next week or on that. And the ones that came through so far seems to be an Evil Rev wants a history of the Chicago porn industry episode.
Wow. I thought we did that.
No, we've not done that. We talked about it. We pulled some clips. We pulled some articles, but we never did a deal on the history. You and I talked about it, though, I think twice now, because I have notes on it. And you pulled clips and sent them to me, I know. So
I know I was interested in it. So
it's a
business, but I was interested in where it started. How long it went back. It went back a lot further than I thought it did.
Yeah, guys, put it in the comments. What do you want to hear about next week? Because it gave me an entire week to get this episode ready just by you telling, let us know what you guys want to hear about. Because we can do a whole episode on it. You guys wanted it, Family Secrets, and we did that. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this Rednesday. But tell us, what do you want to give us some ideas here? What you want to do? Menendez. Hi, Red and Adam. Did William Conrad go to Tony's funeral?
Thanks. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Bill Conrad, Baba Black Sheep. What else did he do?
The actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tough guy. Knocked the battery off my shoulder. Ever-ready battery.
Quickly, Andre Pellegrini, Red, was Jimmy Boy Kozo a made man?
They told me, not when I was around, but they told me he was made in the 90s after Joey was gone. And Louis was gone. Louis Ebley was gone. Everybody was gone. They made him, I think, 93, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know by the time Lombardo got out of prison, Joey Lombardo got out of prison, he was made, and he was there. Jimmy Kozo.
Okay.
Nice guy. Jimmy was a nice guy. I liked him. I liked him a lot. He had a good sense of humor.
El Menendez made a suggestion here. How about Bugsy Siegel?
I don't know anything about him. We'd have to do a lot of research for you, Mr. Menendez.
Look, we got to stay within the confines of Chicago Outfit. That's the rules on this channel. We got to stay within the confines of the Chicago Outfit. Okay, so porn industry in Chicago, which was run, was muscled by, cool, but it's got to stay within that. So throw suggestions. I'm reading them, guys. Was the Chicago Bear that Frank almost had to fight in a bar? Who was the Chicago Bear that Frank almost had to fight in a bar?
That was he wasn't a Chicago Bear. It was a Chicago Cardinal, ex-Chicago Cardinal, and that
Joe
was
Pepitone.
Wayne Bach.
Wayne Bach.
Yeah,
got it.
It was out in Hickory Hills. Actually, the guy that they were fighting over was Evel Knievel. He had his trailer out there in Hickory Hills. He was mob connected.
Got it.
They financed him.
Cindy's saying Robert Conrad, not William Conrad.
That's correct, Cindy.
Okay,
exactly correct.
Yeah. Any future idea? Any ideas?
I
for
was
next
thinking
week?
Bob. I was thinking Bob in my head because Bob Conrad, I remember him. And I also used to see him at the Bird's Nest. He used to hang out there, Billy Kent's place. That's where everybody hung out.
Chop Shop Wars. John O. Chop Shop Wars is a topic?
It's something that I know about.
Okay. So that's a possibility. Another possibility would be
How you doing, John?
Mad Sam. Why did it take so long for
him? Haven't we?
Mad Sam? Yeah, I've been round and round with him. How about some info on Alan Masters, Chicago attorney and supposedly a fixer? That's Barnyard. Hey, Barnyard brought him up, that Alan Masters. He had a photo with a very, very high politician. I take notes. Barnyard.
That was Greylord.
Greylord. Why does that sound familiar to me? Operation Greylord. What was this?
Bob Cooley went undercover, and he blew all the judges out of the water, and also the police officers, prosecutors, whatever he could. He bought them to fix trials. That's the one he got Harry Ailman on Greylord. That was Ailman, because the judge he fixed the judge, and the judge went out and blew his brains out when he got indicted. He just walked out in the backyard and said, "That's it."
Jeez. Thanks for answering my questions. Where can we view footage or recordings of the trial? DJ R05.
You can't. The government won't give copies of it. Now, somebody may have done a reenactment of it, but I don't think I can't even get my own tapes that they played. I mean, other people have tried to get them. Many people have tried to get them. You can't get anything. And I don't think there's anybody that actually, they had to, because there had to be a camera in there so they could take a video of the whole damn thing.
Jim Yeager said Hollywood should make a movie about Operation Greylord. Red could be an advisor.
Possibly, yeah. If anybody decides to, I'm available, I think.
David Grimp, how about Operation Silver Shovel? Okay, so a couple other people said Robert Williams, Chop Shop Wars, big headlines in Chop Shop Wars. That could be fun. Chop Shop Wars.
It was.
Or we could do the history of porn. All right, check this out. Put 1 in the comments if you want Chop Shop Wars, and put 2 in the comments if you want the history of porn in Chicago. 1 for Chop Shop, 2 for the history of the porn industry in Chicago. So vote on it. Vote on it now, guys, because we need to put the votes in. Look, put the votes in. While you guys are putting the votes in, we'll watch this quick little clip, because I don't know if you guys know, but the Vegas Mob Tour is open.
Yo, Bugsy, it says here they got something called the Vegas Mob Tour.
Yeah, Bobby, ain't you heard? It's all about our old friends Sam Giancana, Meyer Lansky, Mo Dalis, and of course yours truly, Bugsy Siegel.
Are you kidding? A mob tour about us?
Yeah, they take you to where we used to hang out and to all the places where we used to do our crimes.
You mean they expose all our secrets?
Yeah, but it's okay, because we ain't around anymore. So let's face it, we can't get busted.
Hey, you think we could sneak on board and check this out?
Of course we can. Forget about it. They'll never even know we're there.
Okay.
I like these comments.
Chop Shop porn, then Chop Shop.
Refusing FNTK. he just put down Chop Shop. He didn't put down the number.
Okay, so I counted them up, and the 2s outweigh the 1s. So it looks like it's going to be the history of Chicago and the porn industry next week. That's what it's going to be. History in the Chicago. Now, Chop Shop Wars, we'll put that up for vote again next week against something else that you guys can come up with, but it's going to be Chop Shop Wars. Maybe we'll put it up against Operation Greylord. Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. It's a surprise every week.
Isn't it? Sure seems that way.
And glad to see all you folks here too. I'm getting to know your names and everything else.
Did you feel dirty selling porn?
Yeah, there were times when I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to separate your emotions. So almost like committing a murder. You got to separate your emotions from the business because it's a filthy business. It really is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk all about that next week because that's what they want to hear about. So we're gonna get into that definitely next week. T. Bugsy, Nikki Santoro sleep with Ace's wife. Yes, that was Tony Spilotro and Jerry McGee that he slept with. Anyway, guys, it has been an awesome day. And I didn't mention this, but I'm going to. I gotta go have a surgery. I gotta get a surgery done because I ended up yesterday discovering that that I went to the doctor and I got this hernia. So I guess this is what happens when you get a little older and then things start to wear out, and start to break down a little bit, maybe.
This is what happens when you sit around during a pandemic and you go moving 90 pound bags. Because I've known people that have got it when they're 16, 17 years old, just from our labor.
Yeah. I've done things my whole life, been able to move big things. I just look at things and, I can move this, boom. That's just how I look at things in the world. So American Gangster, enlargement surgery, while they're down there working in that area, why not? You know what I mean? So J Babe, my first name is Adam, in case you didn't know. And somebody actually thought that Fisticuffs thought that we said we're going to do the history of corn in Chicago.
No, I don't know anything about the history of corn.
No history of corn. It came from
with the whiskey and the beer.
There you go.
But that was long before my time.
Thanks, Blake Gregory. Philip Wright, did the Chicago porn stars eat Polish sausage? and Italian, Philip. Wow.
I don't know many that were from Chicago, but no, they didn't. That I know. I've seen girls do a lot of crazy things. So.
Unreal. Adam got a hernia from lifting all those cheeseburgers. As actually, Eric, what happened is, and it's unfortunate, but from now on, I'm going to have somebody go to the bathroom with me because the doctor told me I can't lift anything over 5 pounds for the next 6 weeks. So
Allie's going to be working hard.
She's cracking up. I could hear her. Wow, that's hilarious. Did the outfit ever try to get any call girls into your store? Oh, wait, don't answer that. Tony, ask that question next week. Because next week we're going to be talking about the history of porn in Chicago and why not, right? So, yeah, why not? Anyway, you guys have been awesome. You guys have been fun, especially you, Red. Thank you very much again for joining us on Rednesday.
You're welcome, man.
Awesome.
And all you folks out there that are glad to see me, you're welcome too.
Well, all righty then. You guys have been awesome. It's been fun. Mob Vlog. Now, usually the shows ended and we're off air, but we're still on air, you see. So this is different. And the reason we're still on air and you're still watching, well, why not? I made this video. It took me 8 hours to create a minute-long video. You might as well watch it again. And we're still on air, and we're doing this intentionally, and we're dropping in numbers. But those of you that are still watching, you have to be a prescriber if you're still watching. I wanted to get rid of everybody except just you prescribers, so I could say thank you very much to each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. Have a great day. God bless.